Boys and girls, ladies and gents, welcome to another episode of Clutch Conversations. It's your boy Mike. I hope y'all are having a fantastic Thursday. First and foremost, how about them Gators? Yeah, a lot of folks was doubting us. A lot of folks thought we were going to lose. They was talking all that yin yang, yin yang, yin yang. Oh, it's a first-year head coach. Oh, their team isn't improving. Oh, Utah's number 17 in the country. Oh, Utah's a college football playoff right in, all this, all that, and them Gators beat them in that swamp. Go Gators! Yes, sir. I know a couple of y'all was really surprised about my social media outburst, but I'm warning y'all right now, it's going to be like that for the whole football season. Win, lose, draw, it don't matter. I get passionate about them Gators, just like I get passionate about these reptiles, just like we get passionate about this show, and also just like we get passionate about U.S. Art and U.S. Art Florida. So if you're not supporting them and you are a part of this hobby in any shape, form, or fashion, make sure you go out there and support U.S. Art and U.S. Art Florida. The link for both organizations are in the description of this video. And to join U.S. Art Florida, it's free. Yeah, I dropped the F-bomb this early. It's free. So no reason why you should not be a registered member of U.S. Art Florida. And if you got some extra cheese, shoot us some cheese too, because we need all the support that we can get. I do want to apologize preemptively if I go into an uncontrollable bout of coughing or if I start sweating. I'm sick. I'm a little bit under the weather, but the show must go on. We're going to do this thing and we're going to have a good time. And speaking of a good time, I want to get to the guests without no hesitation. We got the homie Matt Yates from Matt Yates Reptile Co. So we're going to bring him to the stage right now. What's good, bro?
What's up, buddy? How we doing?
Good, man. How are you?
Living the dream, man. Had a tough day at work, but I'm grinding, getting through this thing. Really excited to be a part of this. Hello to everybody in the comments.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. Shout out to everybody in the comments. It be like that sometimes. Sometimes it's a tough day at work. You just grind. You get through it.
We get through it. That's right. Yeah.
Shout out to Heathen Hatchery, Gatorland, Silver Springs, Florida. What's good? Go Gators. Yes, sir. So introduce yourself. Tell everybody about what it is you do.
Yeah. So my name is Matt Yates. I run my breeding, I guess, boutique. I hate the word boutique, but very select on, we call it smaller and higher end ball pythons. Been doing it for years. Probably had my first ball python pairing, maybe 07 is when I kind of got into it, transitioned from crested geckos. And yeah, here I am. I mean, it's great, treats me well. This industry is very exciting. A lot of good stuff going on. A lot of new faces, constantly growing. I like what I do. I'm not gonna lie.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, how long did you say you've been doing the reptiles?
Well, pretty typical answer. Reptiles, my whole life, really.
Okay.
Had a lizard when I was like 5. Did various stuff, iguanas and leopard geckos and that kind of stuff, through my teen years, and got into crested geckos for a while. I was doing crested geckos pretty heavily and transitioned into balls. I like the ball pythons. They're easy. They require a lot of work, so many colors and mutations, a lot of really cool stuff you can do with them.
Okay. And so before we get too deep into the reptile components, what else do you do for fun? Like, what are your other interests?
I like nature. I like to hike. I like to get out. Photography.
Nice.
I get into the gym, try and work out, hang with the fam. Movies, whatever. It kind of just depends on how I'm feeling.
Yeah. Cool. And so you say you like the morphs, all the different mutations of the ball pythons. And so what mutation kind of pulled you in and said, hey, I want to start breeding. This is what I want to do?
So probably the first time I really started thinking big on it was clowns. Pretty typical, right? In this industry, there'll be like an older gene, and then the right combo hits, and suddenly everybody wants it. You can look at a lot of the stuff that's hot right now, like things that Dustin's done. The red stripes, the laces, those have been around forever, and maybe just didn't look so great, by themselves. But when you start combining them with other things, that's, when you hit the right spot with it. And for me, I'm thinking like lessers. Brock Wagner did a lesser clown. I don't know, probably would have been like 2008, and I was hooked after that. That was hot stuff. I really, and by today's standards, that's not that big a deal. But back then, that was next level.
Absolutely. Yeah, I can imagine how that was hot when it first came out, and it's still hot to this day. Like I like them. I got a lesser leopard clown that's pretty nice.
So, yeah, we mad at that. There's some leopard in there, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And so, what projects are you primarily focusing on?
So a lot of double, triple stuff. Not really working on quads yet, but we may get there real soon. Probably my biggest focus right now is hypo clown DG stuff. That's a big. I've made a solid effort lately to move in that direction and roll in a lot of codoms. I'm kind of taking the slow approach instead of taking the easy route and making a visual with a bunch of codoms. I'm working on those double, triple, either visuals or combos of pets.
Okay. Like, what's some of your goals in that project? Like, what are you trying to produce, if you don't mind disclosing it?
I think everybody's really loving spot nose now. I've rolled a lot of spot nose into my projects. Maybe too much. I've talked to people before about it. I'm like, I got too much spot nose, and they're like, what's that? There's no such thing, there's no such thing as too much spot nose. So, but yeah, I'm rolling a lot of stuff. I'm trying to, work in some of the hot things, like I said, the lace, the red stripe, all of that. Brighteners. I'm also rolling some darker stuff in, trying to get that contrast. Doing some black head, some black pastel, just kind of whatever works. And I'm not against taking that slower road and getting maybe a double visual and then rolling it into the triple project down the line.
Okay.
Just increase your odds.
Okay. Yeah, spot nose. I got a lot of spot nose in my collection too. It's a dope gene. Like, you do a lot of nice things and a lot of different combos. So I do agree that it's hard to have too much spot nose, but the drawback is having it on both sides, and the male and the female. That's the drawback, because I really don't want to produce power balls.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's one of the drawbacks, but it just does like so much dope stuff in combos, right? So I got like an inchy yellow belly spot nose head clown. It's just like insane looking, and it's such a simple combo. Right. It's just insane, like how the yellow belly and the spot nose are like just a flame in at the bottom, and like just how crazy it looks along the sides. And then obviously spot nose with leopard and clown stuff. That's super dope. I want to see the ultra male Batman. Like, I want to see all that kind of stuff. I just love what spot nose does.
So solid contrast. It does really cool stuff. You throw yellow belly or any of the that complex in there, you get those awesome flames. And then you tap like some DG or something into that. That even has better contrast. Definitely cool stuff. There's a lot of there's more than one way to skin a cat, as you can say.
Yeah. What's good, everybody? Got a bunch of people in the chat. What's good, Wiz? What's good, Justin? Brian, what's good, brother? Kent, what's good? Genetics nerds, thank y'all for coming out. 403 Fauna, what's good? Gershon, what's up? Esteban, what's good, my boy? Yeah, so Gershon, we were talking before about just getting out there with the YouTube stuff. So Gershon is part of the reason why I even got on YouTube, right? Like, I had been thinking about it, but I never really did anything with it. And so, like, he would message like every so often. When I say every so often, I mean like every other week, and ask, so when is the YouTube videos coming out? When you gonna start the YouTube channel? So he kind of pushed me through that door. And so Gershon is a big part of the reason why we on YouTube. So I do encourage you to get the YouTube channel started, right? And
that's what's up, man. I keep my circle small, and when I get people in my circle, I want them to be the ones that push me. Take me out of my comfort zone. That's like where dreams go to die.
Yeah, absolutely. that's how you grow. Get pushing out of comfort zone, just like with working out, right? So you just got to push yourself to that next weight, push yourself to that next rep or whatever. It's the same concept, right? Getting outside of the comfort zone, and that's where the growth happens.
1000%. Agreed.
So I remember seeing the pastel spot nose hypo clown that you produced. That was like super dope.
Yeah, yeah.
Super dope. So have you produced many of those in that project?
Yeah, a handful. I had one I produced. I produced a pair actually. I think that was tail end of last year. Ended up selling the male and doing some bartering with the female. Kind of regret it, how it is, seller's remorse type deal. These things happen, but hey, man, these racks ain't cheap. Got to pay the bills.
Yeah.
My loading bill ain't no joke neither. So every once in a while, you can't keep them all. You think Pokemon. So
100%. Yeah, I saw it, and so like when I saw it, I was like, yeah, I really want that. And then I looked like a day later, it was gone. I was like, dang.
Yeah, that's what'll happen. Like most of the time I'm hoping it'll sell. I see something awesome, I'm like, oh, please sell, so I don't have to spend this money on this snake. And then
I remember you posted something like that about one of the snakes, not Justin, but Ozzy had produced. I forgot what it was.
Yeah. I can't remember. Some kind of like orange dream, amazing, hurricane, fire, clown, whatever, sprinkle some other stuff in there. It was wild. I was just making that real to joke, but it had me thinking. I'm like, maybe I should do this thing.
Yeah.
It's like $7,500. I'm like, that's a cheap car. You got to be careful with that kind of stuff. But reinvest, and you can make that money back. There's money to be made in this game.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. What's good, Nana? When he posts those first dibs lists, I'm like,
He did some today. I was definitely tempted.
Oh, did he? I haven't checked.
Yeah,
I haven't checked.
I had to be like, no, don't do it. So
where did he post?
I can't remember. There was more like orange dream, leopard, clown, DG stuff. There was two of them. He kind of switched the format and put it into like by the clutch. Okay. And I kind of like that a little better. It shows the pictures too. He's putting individual pictures up as opposed to just.
Okay, that's dope.
I agree. It's a good change.
Were there was there anything in the Ultra Male Clown project asking for a friend?
Asking for a friend, yeah. I don't think I saw anything in Ultra Male. There may have been though. You'll have to check that one later. I mean, there's some hot new Ultra Male stuff coming out. That's really gaining some traction. There's obviously I'm trying to think who's doing some big Ultra Male stuff. Red Mountain, Martial, he's doing some really cool stuff, and then Herbert's got some great stuff. I know, what is it? Will, he's got who's the guy in Canada that does is it Austin, right? Team Ultramel?
Yeah.
Austin. Yeah. So some people are real big on it. I like it. I have a very small Ultramel project.
Okay. Yeah, it's some nice stuff being produced out there. I need like an Ultramel hit clown male, like maybe with one or two codons sprinkled in.
Can't hurt if you sprinkle those in, right?
Yeah, just a little bit for flavor.
Yeah, that's right. Easy in there.
But yeah, that's what I need. So that's the next animal that I pick up will be something in that project. But yeah, I definitely need that male to grow him up over the coming year. That way he's ready to go into the rotation the following year, because I have some girls ready for that pair.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I mean, I think Herbert had some real nice Ultramel stuff coming this year, maybe even hatching. So that'd be a good source. I'd check into him for sure.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check him out. Definitely have to check him out. Got a few more new people in the chat. What's good, Ray? Nicole, what's good? Rob, what's good? Dom, what's good? Thank y'all for coming out. Yeah, I think that project is going to gain a lot of traction in the coming years, because I still feel like it's quite a bit to do with it. Like, some people are turned off by the color palette, but I feel like darkening genes and then like really like crazy pattern changing genes or really like set that project off. So
I think you throw pattern reducers or pattern altering genes on top of like the right color scheme, whatever that is, if that's Ultramel or lavender or even like rainbow stuff, DP, all of that really can make them pop.
Cool. All right, so if you had to pick one word to describe Matt Yates Reptile Company, what would that word be?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'd say innovative, but I think we all fall into the pitfalls of what's the hot new thing, right? Maybe quality. I definitely focus and always have. In my collecting career, I've always kind of made an effort to get the best example of a gene. And, prices be damned, I mean, within reason, right? But
Right.
I'm going to pay more for something that's of higher quality and have the results that, I want. I don't want anything like, is it that gene? Is it not? That's a game I don't like to play. I'd rather just be like, hey, it's definitively, obviously, you can look at it. Takes the guesswork out of it.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. So, with your holdbacks, like how are you choosing your holdbacks when you going through? Like, what's your strategy?
Man, so for a long time I was, I'd sell pretty much everything. I'd hold back like an animal or two, and I'd sell the rest. And now I've kind of flipped that on my head. I'm holding back probably too much. When you get into these double, triple projects, you're playing an odds game, and you need those holdbacks. So typically, I will hold back like my number one, whatever it is, like whatever I like the most out of the clutch, I'm hanging on to that for sure. Or at least it's going in a holdback rack for a while. Sometimes I'm getting out, decide, all right, let's put this up, or like I could let go of it at this price, and if I get a taker, awesome. If not, I'm still in the same boat, right?
Gotcha.
But yeah, I mean, you start running out of space, you get another rack, you fill it up. That's the problem with getting more racks. So you got to be careful with that stuff.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. So you said at the beginning you was pretty much selling everything, but it's a little bit different now too, because you're getting into those multi-recessive projects and you're producing like some really cool heads, double heads, triple heads, and what have you. And so it's a little bit different, I would imagine. I know right now, for me, from a holdback perspective, sorry about that. I'm kind of at that stage where I'm selling mostly everything.
Right.
By and large. Like I got a double head clown pie project. Like it should be hatching like probably late September. September 22nd is the date I got marked on there, but we'll see.
Okay.
And so I'll probably hold back at least one female from that, because I'm not gonna get super duper heavy into the clown pie project, but I am gonna do some stuff in the clown pie project, and I really want to get into like clown DG pie as well. But I'm gonna hold back a little bit from that clutch. Everything else will probably be available. I got a few more other clutches where most of those animals are gonna be available. But I got a double head hypo clown clutch that's coming. Actually, the girl just had her prelay shed 1 or 2 days ago, and so that should be coming. And then I got a double head DG clown clutch coming, and so it's a lot of codoms sprinkled in both of those pairs, and so I'm really looking forward to that. And I'll probably hold back more from those clutches than I historically have held back from any clutches so far.
You got to do it, man. It's an odds game. You get a visual that's like 100% het, or a visual that's even a pass het. And if you hold back enough of them and do the right, like the complement to it. So like you're saying, like a clown hypo, say you get a clown, but it's 50% hypo. Then you're going to try and breed that to a hypo that's, maybe 50% het clown. They complement each other. Worst case scenario, you got double hets,
Cool. Yeah. And speaking of pass hets, so what's your take on genetic testing?
I don't know what the qualm is. Like I know people say, oh, they're gonna, people are gonna, try and game the system, or they're gonna cheat and they're gonna, find out it's not a het, but they're gonna put it as a pass het. I mean, do your research, buy for the right people. It's really not that big of a deal. If anything, I think it's gonna put people way ahead of the game. Some people could, I've heard people say, it's a cop out. They're not, putting the work in or whatever. Well, they're still putting the work in. They're just using today's technology to get ahead of the game. And I don't see a problem with it, really. I actually sent some skins off recently, have not got results back yet, but I'm kind of excited to see where it's going to take things. I mean, when you got all these, double, triple, quad, et cetera, that you're working on, then it'll just help you. I mean, you're saving time. Time is money. I think it's valuable.
So the sheds that you sent out, what were you testing for? What gene specifically?
Oh, well, there's limited testing right now. So, like they don't have hypo, which people shit on hypo all the time, but I love hypo. I've never seen an animal hypo everything. So
I don't even understand the hypo hate. Like it's crazy.
I don't know. Just because it's an older gene, people are like, get this hypo shit out of here. But that's not for me. I personally, I love it. I dig it. If I wanted to look at other stuff, I was testing for some clowns, some DG. I think really that's all I sent off. I sent, like 10 skins off. I had more, but I didn't want to spend like $2,000 in shed testing. I'm gonna, give it a test run first.
Do they give a projected turnaround time on the testing?
Last time I spoke with him, he was talking about like 2 weeks, but he said they're getting blown up. I mean, it's really a challenge. Maybe if you got a little clout in the industry and you can get them to move it along, grease the wheels a little bit. But
yeah, I'm sure Justin get his right back.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Next day.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, I'm sure he get his like next day. Like, oh, thank you. I can post it.
Well, you spend a lot of money with people and you start getting that, people take care of you.
Yeah. So it's how much does it cost?
Like $50, but I think it's going to go up. Yeah. If you think about it, if you're doing low end stuff or whatever, it may not be for you, right? But if you're getting into higher end stuff and like I said, you're shaving that time off, you don't hang on to that pass head, you sell that. And the one that proves out, you're like, well, that's perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. Hang on to that, put in the grow up rack and get that project moving forward in the right direction.
Absolutely. Like you say, you can save the time and then you can sell it with verified testing results, at least as it relates to the head. Right.
I'm sure they'll iron this thing out and they'll have some kind of maybe database or something where you can give a code and be like, oh yeah, here's your results. Anybody can pull it off on a website or something.
Yeah, I'm
We're
sure.
not there yet, though.
Yeah, they're probably working on something like that as we speak.
I agree.
As we speak. Yeah, so it'll be dope. It'll definitely be dope. And then you're still subject to the odds, right? So even if like beyond the shadow of a doubt, you're still subject to the odds of hitting that particular combo that you're going for. The only thing that's changed, you just know it's 100% hit, right? And so you're just doing that pair knowing that this animal is 100% hit because it's been verified by genetic testing. So
yeah, I mean, you're right. You are subject to the odds. You got to play the game. Like I was saying, just complement it. So if you get 100% head, try and pair it with a visual. You're gonna increase your odds exponentially.
For sure. And so, what's your collection looking like now in terms of size? And are you kind of at a cap, or are you wanting to?
I'm trying to cap. Every time I cap, I buy a new rack and fill it up. It's a real problem. So for many years I was intentionally small, and still by a lot of people's standards I am. But right now I don't know. Maybe I have like 100 animals. Nothing too wild. You get too big and it takes the fun out of it. And that's sort of the problem, right? I always did this, not necessarily as a job, but as a passion thing. I like it. It's fun. Sure. I like the, combination of like, it's like living art, literally. You're creating this thing, from scratch essentially. And I don't know, that's the fun of it. But anyways, yeah, about 100 snakes ish. I was trying to count the other day because I figured this would come up. And it's hatchling season. I got new stuff coming in all the time, but right now, about 100, maybe 120 or something.
So that's including hatchlings or that's breeders only?
Let's see. I think I got about 40 hatchlings right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm like trying to visually like look over and count them all. I can't do math that fast. So.
Yeah, so not that bad at all.
Yeah.
So are you the only one that's working in the reptile room, or do you got help?
No, it's just me. I got a brother who's sort of become a glorified snowbird. Comes down, I'm in Arizona. It's hot here. He's in the Midwest. He'll come and crash on my couch for a while, and I'll put him to work when he's here, and it's very helpful. I love having him here. Most of the time, it's just me, which works okay. I mean, I kind of just work out a routine. I get up in the morning, as I get my coffee, I kind of pop in, check all the tubs, make sure everything's all good. And then maybe like in the evening after getting off work or right before bed, I probably, pop in all these tubs, maybe to an obsessive level, maybe like 3 times a day. It could be more, it could be less. It just depends on what I got going on that day.
Gotcha. So you spot cleaning throughout the week. Do you have like a big cleaning day, or do you just kind of like
Saturday is like my feeding / cleaning day. So like I concentrate my efforts in the snake room. No, sorry, Sunday. And then, on occasion there will be, some spot cleans, we just never know what's going to happen. I always try and, keep an eye in, keep it as clean as possible throughout the week.
Okay.
I got the lady yelling at me saying the snake room stinks, that kind of stuff. We don't need that in our lives.
So what you using for substrate?
So I kind of have a mix. I do like Coco, and it just depends. A lot of that's like my older animals I'll do on Coco, and then I got like Reptizord liners. I'll do those as well.
Okay.
Those are typically like younger animals, and it just depends. If I'm trying to keep a closer eye on things, like say I'm pairing, right? All these larger racks behind me, I have those set up, and I have the liners, Reptizord liners, to drop a male in there, and maybe you don't catch the lock, but you see like the hippopenal drags on the paper. It's a good like indicator that you had a lock, you just didn't catch it.
Oh, so, nice. I didn't know that.
Yeah, nice little quick tip for you.
I didn't know that at all.
Yeah,
so you say you're in Arizona?
Yeah, that's correct.
So do you have issues with humidity in Arizona?
A little bit. Yeah, sometimes. It depends. Not like a wild issue. So again, with the older females, that seems to be, it can be a challenge at times. What I typically do is I'll try and maybe I'll mist some of the cocoa, or I'll, take a half full water dish, dump it in on the cocoa, and then, refill it up. And usually it holds good. There's been times where maybe I didn't keep on top of it and the girl has a bad shed. Not the end of the world, give them a little soak. They're back to normal in no time.
Gotcha. Yeah, in Florida, we have like the opposite. Yeah, on the other side of the spectrum. Like, so it's pretty good in the ARS tub. I don't really have any issues. But in the PVC racks with those tubs, sometimes they get a little bit like too humid, right? So you have to like have holes in them and stuff like that, just so some of that humidity can escape. But yeah, definitely on the side of the spectrum.
Yeah, man, I love Florida. Don't get me wrong. I don't know if I could deal with that humidity every day, though. It gets hot here, so
it's insane, bro. It's insane.
Yeah. We get like it gets real hot here, but it's like very, it's just there's no humidity. So even if it's like 110, it feels like it's 90 or 95 maybe.
Like the other day,
anything over that's too hot though.
Yeah, like it's crazy. Humidity is just insane. Like there's been times when I walked out the door and it just like took my breath away. Like you could be like pouring in sweat while it's raining, and you're like what's really going on? The humidity is on another level.
Year one, I moved out here and kind of acclimated, got used to it, and I went back to the Midwest. And I remember it was like 90 degrees and 90% humidity. I'm complaining to my friends. I'm like, oh, it's a hot one here today. They're just laughing at me. Mr. Arizona, like I don't know. It's funny how it changes. You acclimate to these things one way or another.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. So speaking of the Midwest, you going to Tinley in October?
Probably no Tinley for me. I would love to. That sounds fun. I'm trying. I have not booked yet. Hopefully, I'm not too late. I want to go to this BP Con, that Bigger Pockets deal. A lot of the
San Diego.
Over in San Diego, correct? Yeah. So that's my goal. I've never actually been to a Tinley. But I mean, I hear Tinley's like the new Daytona. Seems like it's real hot stuff, especially the fall show. I don't know how, I lived in Nebraska for years. I was born and raised there. And I don't know how I never made my way over to Tinley. I always had intentions, and it just seemed like it was too much to head over there, 8 hours drive. But, people are wild, man. These show warriors, man, they drive across country for stuff, that's a bit much for me. I keep it in my own backyard if I can.
Yeah, I feel you. This will be our first time going to Tinley.
Well, it should be a blast. I hear it's a good time. I really intended to go last year. I didn't make it happen. I wanted to go this year. I didn't make it happen. 2023, put it on the calendar. I'm going to make it happen.
Okay. Yeah, I want to check out all the big shows. I probably won't get every single big show every year, but I want to check them out, kind of like on a rotation or whatever.
How was Daytona? I've never been to Daytona either, but I hear that's a real good time.
Yeah, I had a good time at Daytona. This was our third year in a row going, but it was the first time that we like stayed for a whole weekend, right? And so there was a lot of, because we only been doing this since 2020, so we went to the 2020 Daytona show, we went to the 2021, and then obviously the 2022. I don't know why my phone just cut off.
Yeah, that was weird. So what is that? Your third year you've done it? How far is that from you?
Like 2 hours, away.
That's in your backyard.
Right up the road.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So yeah, it was nice to get there for a whole weekend.
By the way.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Can't argue with that.
Definitely a write-off.
Yeah.
It was a good write-off. It was good to go chill at the beach, see some reptiles, meet some great people.
Right.
I ain't mad at that at all.
Yeah, man, it's a crazy time now. There's this industry is, I mean, it's growing. There's just constantly new people jumping in and spending some real scratch. They're not playing around. I'm like, sometimes I'm just like, who is this? And like, they got what? Like people are having like crazy, double, triple recessive combos on their first clutch. I've seen some pretty amazing stuff happen over the last couple of years. So
Yeah, people hitting some crazy stuff. Like some people came in like swinging, came out the
yeah,
gate
yeah,
swinging.
I imagine. Just make you step your game up.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Like I've been through like I don't want to say all the pitfalls because I haven't been through all the pitfalls, but I have been through some pitfalls. And so right now, one of the things we're doing is like revamping the collection. And so we're
Right.
like cycling some animals in, cycling some animals out. And so I'm really trying to focus on the primary projects that we're going to work on, and then just be even more selective about the animals we bring it in, about the animals we hold them back, and so on and so forth, and also about the pairings that we do. Yeah, for sure. If you're not subscribed to Nicole, real quick plug. If you're not subscribed to Nicole, she's like 95 subscribers away from 1,000. So go out there, hit that subscribe button. Then you can be eligible for a giveaway, and the giveaway is a first class ticket to Tinley, right? So first class flight to Tinley. So make sure you go out there and subscribe.
Can't be mad at that. What's up, Nicole?
Yeah.
How you doing?
Yeah. But yeah, what was I about to say? I forgot what I was about to say.
I lost track too.
It'll come back.
Oh no, I got you. Collection. So you're talking about your collection streamlining it and picking your projects, right?
Yeah.
And here's just a train of thought I've had before. Like I'm sort of selective with what I'm into, but sometimes I see something I kind of like, right? And I'm like, do I want? And like maybe just grab a female. If you get like a female visual recessive, whatever that is, that puts you way ahead of the game. You can work on other stuff. You can grab a male later. So like I've got, my primary focus has been DG hypo clown stuff, but like I got like a little bit of ultramel, a little bit of lavender, and just kind of playing with it a little bit. I've been toying with the idea of getting into sunset. There's some stuff that nobody's done anything with yet. Like it's in its infancy. So if you get in early and get the right animals, you can do a lot with that.
No, 100%. So we got 5 recessives in our collection right now. Well, technically we got 6, but one of them not really in the breeding rotation. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah. So DG, Clown, Hypo, Pied, and Ultramel. So those are the ones we're working with. Obviously, we'll do like some single recessive stuff, some double recessive stuff, start working triple recessive, and then just work our way up, right?
So, the nice thing about that is those are all projects you could roll together, So like, you work on one end of it, you work on the other end, and then eventually combine them down the line, and you're already going to get, some of them are going to have the same genes. So you're going to get some visuals that are, het for X, Y, or Z. So that's a good way to cross out and get, working on those bigger projects.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. What you think about Stranger?
It's okay. I don't hate it. I'm maybe not entirely in love with it. I have seen some stranger animals I did really like. Is that a codom, or is that does that have a super form?
So I haven't seen a super form at all. I don't think it has a super form. I think it's just just straight dominant.
Yeah. I don't know if it really commands the price. I definitely have looked at some stuff. There was one point in time Justin did that like honeycomb ball, and I thought that was pretty sick, and I had some stuff that would complement that real well, and I was eyeballing one he had. I ultimately decided not to pull the trigger on that, just because the stranger, it really jacks the price up. It's not that new. I think it's kind of hit a point where it's sort of stagnant and probably is going to be on the decline soon, but I don't claim to be an expert on stranger. I know next to nothing of it, but it's a dark and it does cool pattern stuff. I'm not mad at it.
Yeah, it does do some real cool pattern stuff. And I like them. I actually like them a lot, but I'm a little bit hesitant about jumping into the project right now. Well, I do want to eventually get into the project, but I'm kind of gun shy with it right now.
Look at anything. Look at bananas, right? Bananas used to command like a crazy price, right? And the thing with these recessive projects is they take so many years to build up and get to the point where and just the odds game, right? You're playing the odds game. It takes forever. You get into strangers, man. Somebody would 10 stranger or 10 regular ball pythons get one male stranger, and they can crank those things out like it's nobody's business, drop the market on them. So you got to be careful with anything that people can recreate in a single generation.
Yeah, 100%. I saw some stuff that Justin posted today. He posted like a stranger yellow-bellied clown, I think 100% het pied or something like that. It was pretty nice. Yeah, stranger yellow-bellied clown, 100% het pied female. It's nice. It's real nice.
I believe it. The guy's a mad scientist. He's always cranking out the wildest stuff.
Yeah, but yeah, I like it. I do eventually want to get into it. I want to work in some like hypo stuff and some DG stuff, but like I said, I'm just kind of hesitant right now to jump into it. But we'll see how it goes.
Just when you see the right snake, pounce. If that's like your plan, you're thinking about it, like don't hesitate, because people will snap something up. I try and if I find something I really like, I try and sleep on
pastel spot nose hypo clown. Case in point.
Perfect example, right? Yeah, man, they come and go real fast. So, but the right deal, man. It don't, you're gonna make money off it if you do it right and you're like thinking ahead of the game. Snag it. Got to do what you got to do. I'm a big fan of like sleeping on things, and there's a it's a balancing act there, right? You can't just go dropping all the cash whenever something comes up you like. But after a night's rest and you're still like, hell yeah, I want that, then get on it. If it's still available, that
is. Yeah, 100%. What's good, Keys? So what's your goals, like next 5-year goals, 10-year goals? Like, where do you see your company growing to?
I think the dream is to make a living breeding ball pythons, right? And for years I didn't. That was not my goal. I like doing it. I've sort of stepped things up a little bit and treated things more like a business, had more of a business perspective on it. Before I'd just be like, hey, if I break even, cool, whatever, no big deal. If I make a couple bucks, awesome. So yeah, I've reinvested a lot lately, and thought outside the box and tried to create kind of next level stuff. When I started working on triple stuff, I had this like paradigm shift where I was like, oh wow, I basically married 2 projects. So I was working like some DG hypo stuff and some clown hypo stuff and some DG clown stuff. And then I was like, why don't I just take all of those and roll it into one? And I found the right male, like I said, it popped up and I snagged it right away. It was perfect. And it really, getting the right male can move your collection in a proper direction real fast.
Yeah. And so getting back to we were talking a little bit about the Patreons earlier. So what's the biggest thing you're pulling from the Patreons, and like kind of how do you leverage that to your advantage?
Leverage it to my advantage. I don't know. I mean, there's some real good information. I mean, anytime you get one-on-one time with somebody who's very successful in whatever their niche, their industry, whatever, right? Like we talked about participation, right? It's only as valuable as what you're willing to put in is what you're going to get out of it. So the Patreon thing, I was telling you that it's getting out of control. We're going to have to reel it in a little bit. There's too many of these damn Patreons, and I'm jumping on too many of them. I'm starting to put a car payment out there in Patreon. The first of the month is a little cringeworthy, but I'm really digging Ozzy's. I like that real estate aspect. That's something I sort of dabble in, and just being around like-minded people is clutch. So if you got people that are breeding ball pythons and they're into real estate, like that's a solid lock for me, man. I like that a lot. It's two things that I'm into and passionate about. So I got a lot to talk to people that are in that world.
Gotcha. Speaking of the first of the month Patreon payments, have you ever signed up for a Patreon at the end of the month and then got hit on the first day?
Yeah. This is bullshit. I got 2 days in. I want a refund. I've done that before. I've actually intentionally made sure to do it toward the beginning of the month now. So
yeah, that's what I do now. Like they got me one time.
Yeah, it can wait 4 days.
Never
Don't worry about it. Yeah, set a calendar reminder. Check it out then.
Yeah, I said never again. So for anybody out there, if you're signing up for a Patreon, sign up at the first of the month or like that first week of the month. Otherwise, they're gonna hit you like back-to-back charges for a full
More
month.
bang for your buck. Yeah,
no
that's right. Yeah.
prorating.
Yeah. I
Just
like
wait
that.
till the first of the month, Bone Thug style. And so, is there anything that you want to be known for in the industry?
Man, I just want to be known for being, fair, easy to work with, quality animals. I'm like a firm believer in, treating people right, having customer service. If you got the right product and you got the right attitude, hell, even if you don't have the right product, but you got the right attitude and you're treating people right, they're going to come back to you. You make people feel special, you go that extra mile and you really, you care about what you do, it shows. So, realistically, that's what I want. I want people to understand, like if I put my word on something, that's my bond. That's how I feel about it.
So how do you think you developed like that trait?
I don't know. My father was a guy that I don't know. In his world, people really valued his opinion and would come to him a lot. And I think some of that sunk in on me. And I love problem solving too. People come to me and sometimes people just come and they want to vent, right? And that's okay. But like if somebody comes to you with a gripe and you can come up with a resolution, they remember that stuff. Now some people just want to bitch and you give them a resolution and they still don't want to listen. That's a whole other thing though. We ain't gonna touch that right now.
Gotcha. So what's been some of your biggest challenges up to this point? Like what are some things you've been through and you learned a lot from?
Challenges. I don't know. There's, the industry's really come a long way. There used to be, there's probably a little bit of cliquishness still, but it's way more inclusive than it used to be. For challenges, I guess me personally, I am a terrible social media guy. That's probably my biggest challenge, really. I think I have a good product and a good attitude, a good outlook, all of that stuff. But man, these kids start something and they're like aspiring ball python breeder and they got like 20,000 followers. I'm like, I don't know what they're doing, but I need to do some of that,
Yeah. Social media can be challenging. My biggest challenge here lately is just being consistent with it. Like I've been slacking on my posting for sure.
So consistency, like outside of social media, just in general, man, that's clutch for life. That's life advice right there. If you can just be consistent in whatever you do, whatever you're passionate about, the results will shine through.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, I definitely need to be more consistent. Like I used to post on IG like 3 to 4 days a week, like routinely every single week.
Mm-hmm.
Here now, I haven't been posting that much. I have gone to like posting more stories because for like maybe like a month or so, I wasn't posting much at all on IG, like once a month. And I wasn't even spending a whole lot of time on IG, like looking at other stuff just because of other different things, like just going on in life in general. And so now I've been making like an effort to at least post some stories, right? So I post a story, I'll share a story, something like that, like so I can at least post some stories. But I definitely need to post more.
So hey, sometimes it takes 5 minutes. Me and Brandon have talked about that. He's talking about feel for you on this. It's a real challenge sometimes, but like legit, take 5 minutes in the morning and just record a quick reel or a story or whatever and post it. Who cares if it ain't perfect? We talked earlier about getting the reps in, right? And just doing the damn thing, right? And just do it. If somebody wants to judge you and they're like, oh, they didn't edit right or they didn't do whatever, yeah, man, I ain't got no time for them. Like try and just get the reps in, do what you got to do. The other day I posted a reel, just a blackhead hypo, just real quick, filmed it in the morning. I was like drinking my coffee and everything. And the thing went nuts. I didn't do nothing. It was like, whatever, 24,000 views or something, right?
Oh, wow.
Significant, For some people, it's probably nothing. But
it's significant.
I took, maybe 5 minutes out of my morning just to do that. And I made myself do it. I was like, in the morning, I usually wake up, I get my coffee, I do some yoga stretches, I check on my snakes. And I was like, you know what? Take 5 minutes, do a reel. And it came out. So you just never know.
Okay.
And the algorithm is a whole other thing. Don't get me started on that. I don't know.
Say again.
The algorithm, all the Facebook or Instagram stuff.
Man.
I don't know if anybody has the Keats algorithm. Put in the comments right now because I'm clueless personally.
yeah. It's definitely challenging. Like I finally worked my way up to getting good traction on my pictures, and then they just changed the whole game.
Yeah, that's a real thing. Yeah, same thing. I thought I had this thing figured out, and then suddenly it just dropped off. You're like posting something and getting like 20 likes or 50 likes or something. A handful of views. You're like, what? This is good. This is good stuff. So you just never know. Some things pick up, some things they don't. It's wild.
Cool. Any other challenges?
No, man. I think breeding ball pythons in general is a relatively simple process. You get two animals, you feed them well, you take care of them, you provide for them. Once you've like kind of figured out the basics and you figure out how to incubate properly, that kind of stuff. The sky's the limit, really. You can go as far as your creativity, your imagination will take you, or at a minimum your wallet, right? You buy in at some point in time, and sometimes people get a leg up, right? They're able to buy more expensive animals and get in, and sometimes you gotta grind and get through it and buy those heads. But if you stay consistent, you're going to get some good stuff.
Speaking of incubation, what temp do you set your incubator?
Like 88.5, 89, somewhere in there. Usually shy of 90 is what I typically do. Sometimes there's a little variation. I use those sensor push. Those things are like a game changer. If you guys ain't got no sensor push, you should get in on that for sure. It's like a nice way to track. I'll put one like in the box. I'll put one in the incubator, and I have a better idea, if there was a heat spike or anything that changed over time. And it's just, if you get the remote, like the wireless gateway, you can do that on the road. You can be on vacation checking on things. It's amazing.
Okay, it's like an app that goes along with it.
I got an app. I mean, the technology these days. We were talking about the technology of the genetic testing, right? Well, the technology, apply it as you can, as you need to. But I think we got to all improvise, adapt, and figure out a way to use it. And I think that's a big one. I think everybody should be doing that. That should be just bar none, basic ball python husbandry at this point.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into that. And you said sensor push?
I'll send you some links. You get them on Amazon. It's like nothing. Like, I don't know, 30 or 50 bucks for a sensor. The wireless gateway is about 100. And truly game changer. You should definitely do that.
Okay, what thermostat you running in your incubator?
I do Herp stats.
Okay.
Herp stats are good. They've always treated me right. I've basically, as it is, I've got like like every keeper ever, right? Like a mix of the PVC racks that I've acquired over the years, and then I've got kind of my ARS stuff behind me. Pretty happy with those. So ARS racks and Herp stats are the way to go in my opinion. Pretty relatively budget friendly and still gets the job, like a good product.
Sure. I'm using Herp stats and VEs. Like I got a mix of them right now.
Yeah.
And then obviously PVCs and ARS.
How you feeling about the VEs? I've never used those before.
They do a good job. I haven't had any issues with them. I do like the Herp stats a little better. So functionally, I feel like there's not much difference, right? For me, one's not running away from the other, but I do kind of like the interface and just kind of the overall look and feel of the Herp stats a little bit better. And so that's what I'm leaning towards. And then there's more versatility, I think, in the offerings for Herp stats, right? Because you can get a 1, you can get a 2, you can get a 4, you can get a 6, and it might be one bigger than that, but yeah.
I don't know. I don't have my biggest one's a 4, and I think now mine are probably a little older. They've lasted, which is great, but they're having like Wi-Fi versions, if I'm not mistaken, too. So to be able to track everything, and probably setting an app would be my guess. So
yeah, they got the spider web. It's kind of clunky.
Is it? Okay.
I do got 2 of the spider webs, but I don't really use the Wi-Fi piece of it. Because like my Wi-Fi is crappy sometimes, and so like it'll get kicked off, and then it's not like the most efficient like programming setting for that piece of it, and so it just it becomes more trouble than it's worth. And then for me, the tracking is kind of clunky. It gives you you got to log into like this weird site. If they had an app that you do it on, that would be tight. At least last time I looked at it, it was kind of clunky. It might have
Everything's apps
improved
these
since then.
days. Just give it it's a matter of time, you know. They'll figure it out.
But yeah, definitely Herp Stats is what I've been leaning towards. So any new thermostat pickups going forward will be Herp Stats.
Okay.
Herp Stats, you need to send me a check for that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's my endorsement check right there.
So what do you think is and you probably already spoke on this a little bit, but what do you think is like one of the most important personality traits that you need to be successful in this hobby?
Honesty. All right. Honesty goes a long way. There's, we live in a world of a lot of dishonest people, right? And I think, if you can, admit your shortcomings and just be straight up with people, it's okay to say, I don't know. And half the time I'm trying to ID stuff, I'm like, I don't know, man, this is a theoretical ID. That's what I'll put on something where I'm just not, if I'm like making a posting and I'm putting something up for sale, I'm like, hey, theoretical ID, this is the pairing. Keep it real. You know what I mean? Like some of the genes, like I did talk about, like really knowing, right? Like understanding, like I have the best example of this gene, but you start dropping genes on top of genes and some of them being more subtle genes, like it's a challenge. Like I think
it's hard.
So you were talking about challenges. That would probably be what I'd say, right? IDing snakes. I love being able to bounce things off people. I'm not opposed to, jumping into somebody's DMs and being like, hey man, what do you think about this? I'll ask people, and some of them I know, some of them I don't, or maybe they're working on a project that's very similar, so they've got some experience. I think, being honest and talking to people and just letting them know, hey, I'm not 100% sure, but this is what I think.
Yeah. I do that all the time too, or for the 2 collections I've had, I do it. I just ask what people's opinions are because, like, for example, this last clutch that hatched for us was an OD Inchy Lemon Blast Pied.
Okay.
And I paired him with a Inchy Lemonback female. And so Lemonback, if you're not familiar with that, it's like fire. Some people say it's another line of fire, and some people just say that they're closely related, kind of in the same complex. But it's really smooth, like a really nice. It produces some really nice looking animals.
I've heard of it. I've seen it. I never worked with it personally,
Like all my hatchlings that I have that have fire in it, like it's just like the smoothest color. Like one of them I got, which it's a theoretical ID, but what I believe to be a super inchy OD Lemon Blast Lemon Back, and then obviously hit Pied. I think that's what it is. I bounced off a couple people. Some people agree. Some people say they're a little shaky on the OD. I'm a little shaky on the OD too.
OD is a tough one sometimes. Really, it is. Unless you have a very basic, when you start stacking it and it lightens and everything, you're just like, I don't know, man. I think this is OD. This is much brighter than this clutch mate. It helps when you got like comparisons. You can be like, okay, look at this one. Look at this one. Clearly, it's much brighter. It must be OD.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, all the animals that hatched in that clutch, they had the lemon back. Like it's just like the smoothest colors. It's so nice. Like I like it. I was actually gonna sell that girl until like I saw those hatches. I was like, all right, so I want to get this in the clown. So I'm gonna keep her. I'm thinking about holding back one of the females that she produced. One of the female hatchlings. I was gonna sell it, but I'm thinking about holding it back just kind of as an insurance policy because I really want to see what it looks like in clown. And so I'm like, all right, so if I just hold back that one girl, that like the original mom, and something happens to her, then I'm completely out of that project. And so I think I'm gonna hold back this other girl too, at least for the time being, right? So she might not make it to like full maturity, but for right now, she's gonna be like a backup female. Yeah, I'm just hold her back. It's kind of like an insurance policy until I can like work clown into.
I think that's a solid choice.
Clown.
Listen, man, you can always sell something. It's you get these ball pythons and you get a little size on them. They're just worth more money at that point. If they're closer to breeding, people are usually willing to put a couple extra bucks into something if they're like, you can't buy time, right? And that's essentially kind of what you are doing with ball pythons that have a little size on them. You're shaving that time off. You put in the work. Somebody else can purchase it. Everybody wins, really.
Right, 100%. You got to think like once they get eggs on the ground and some babies hatching from that mom, assuming everything goes well, she'll be over a year old, and hopefully there's females in the clutch and whatnot. So obviously you got to play the odds game, but Yeah, so she'll have some nice size on it. Then we'll see what makes sense at that time, whether or not she stay on the roster or whether or not she get traded.
Okay, you can trade every once in a while. That's something I've been looking at. I'm like, all right, what do I got with these females? Like, you know, I'm you know, I was kind of giving Ozzy props on Patreon, and I like his style, right? It's like upgrade, right? Like you can keep the same amount of racks and just get a little bit more heat in them every time. You know what I mean? You hold this back, you grow it up. All right, well, you know, now instead of a clown, it's a clown hypo, you know, or whatever. DG clown or something, you know, you've upgraded or you added some other co-doms or something. I think that's clutch to really, you know, expanding and growing your collection.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to next season. I feel like I got some nice things coming. I'm still making like my breeding plans for next season, and I'm deciding like, all right, so I'm gonna go pair her. Am I gonna pair her? Who am I gonna pair her to? What other options do I have? So I've been reviewing it like all the time. Like I look at it and like then I switch something up or think about it, maybe add some notes because I do everything. I feel like I do everything in life in Excel. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, that's smart. That's the good way to do it. I got a little notebook app on my phone. I'll plug things in. Or like, you know how it is. Sometimes you get an idea. You're just, you know, whatever. You're falling asleep or, you know, sitting on the toilet or whatever, right? And like it hits you, right? You're like, oh man, I gotta cut that down, you know? And so that's something I definitely try and do as well. And you just never know. Sometimes you get a great idea kind of out of nowhere, you know?
100%. And then when I see stuff like posted online, like with something that I have the genetics and I could add something to it or do something similar, like I'll screenshot it and put it in a folder. Like just so I can look at it later and be thinking about stuff like that. Like it's a lot of little tricks and stuff there, and I'm always like thinking about it. Always, probably way too much sometimes, but like I'm always thinking about it.
Welcome to the ball game, brother. You know that's what it is. You know, yeah, it's addicting, man. It gets out of control quick. You know, you just never, you know, like I've done this before where I get into something and you know you're either in or you're all in. You know, you definitely want to do it, and you know I see it happen. Like people, you know, they start from like, you know, or whatever, 1 snake, 2 snakes, all of a sudden it's like 18, you know, like what happened there? You know, you like just jumped over everything. You pick up a whole collection or whatever. You know?
And that's what I was doing at first. Like I was not as selective with what I was picking up.
Yeah.
Like I really did it the complete wrong way. I was not selective. I had like a little bit of idea of what I wanted to do, but I didn't really have any idea. And then I was hesitant to like invest any money into like snake, right? So I wanted to stay with like the lower end snakes and stuff like that. And so that's what I picked up at first. And I just started like picking up more and more, and like quantity was the thing. But then obviously clicked in my head, like, nah, you gotta stop that. You need to be more focused. Talk with people more experienced and just learning more about the game. I remember like I used to have like several like video chats with Reggie from Reggie's Urban Jungle.
Okay.
We would walk through my collection and he would really school me on like the mentality to have and to adopt, right? And like he was the first person that like pulled me to the side. It was like, yeah, the industry is going towards double, triple, quadruple recessives. So it makes sense for you to structure your projects like in that way. So don't always be thinking about how can I put a visual to a visual, or how can I put a visual to a head to make like a single gene visual. You need to work in some double recessive stuff. You need to work in triple recessive stuff and stuff like that. And so it changed the way we start thinking about it, and we just started being like more focused and more selective with what we brought in. And like, so like now everything fits in a project in like some shape, form, or fashion. With my females, I might not always 100% know what the pairing is going to be, but if it's in that project and it's a way I want to go, like I generally have like 2 or 3 options kind of in my mind of where I probably will be around the time when she's ready to go. Right. But with males, it's like, oh, I know he's going to her. So it's just, and not saying that we got it all together because we're still learning on the job, but that's where we're at now. What's good, Elaine?
Chestnut checkers, man. You know, like this is the type of thing you can always get that female that's a visual, and you'll figure it out. You'll find a place for her. You know, like the goal is you got to have the right male, but you got to have enough females that are up to size to utilize it. So, you know, if you're just snagging some single recessive, double recessive, whatever codoms trying to sprinkle in on the females, that's the recipe for success, really. You know.
100%, 100%. Yeah, sorry about all the coughing, man. I'm trying to push through it.
You are pushing through. You're doing great.
Appreciate it. So, who have been some of your mentors in the hobby? Like, who have you pulled a lot from?
I don't know if I've really ever had a real mentor in the hobby. But I mean, it's a different. So, all right, like me growing up, doing ball pipe, or not even ball pythons, just reptiles in general, right? You didn't have a lot of, like in the 90s, you didn't have a lot of resources. The internet wasn't a thing. It was like Reptiles magazine was the big deal. And maybe like books from your library, which were always like super dated, these days you can jump online and there's just, whatever you are into, you're going to be able to find it online. I mean, all the social media stuff, game changer, there's anybody out there at your fingertips. You can, just shoot them a message, ask them, like I was talking about IDs, right? So I don't know if I'd say, I ever really had a full-on mentor, but, I've met some great people along the way, and, maybe bounce a question off them here or there, or, learn something through maybe their posts, kind of observe that through osmosis, but as for one single person I'd say mentor, I don't know.
Gotcha. Right. So just like utilizing a bunch of resources, essentially.
Yeah, correct.
Cool. So real quick, speak about the new updated logo. I don't know if we pointed it out earlier.
Oh, you like that? So there's this dude. So this is just kind of like a secondary logo I did. His name is it's Raul. It's Brute Designs, and he's on Instagram. And it's just like cool graffiti art that he does. He does these like digital designs, and I mean it's sick. Like if you appreciate that kind of stuff, then you'll probably like it. Just the guy's just got a real cool eye, and I approached him. I was like, hey, I'd like to do a collab. Can you do kind of a commission thing for me? Like I'm trying to do something, a logo, like a secondary logo for my reptile company. And first this dude's kind of like, I don't know. He's got a lot of followers and shit. And then he's like, hey man, you got some pretty cool snakes. Kind of messaged me back. I was like, hey, thanks. Like you want to do this or not? I got him on board, and he's busy. I can tell the dude's busy. He does. The side of buildings, doing like murals and stuff, and other commission things. He's pretty legit. And anyways, Brute Designs down in Miami. Check him out. Give him a like, follow, all that fun stuff. But yeah, man, I like it. I printed up a bunch of stickers. I'm gonna bring these out, and I'm actually gonna do the Super Show. I'm heading up there with a buddy that's local, and I'll be handing those out. Selling some snakes. So I'm real pumped on that. I don't have my next level display, unfortunately, so I got to go off this old POS show display I got from like 12 years ago. But I'm gonna make it work. I got some heat to put in it, so it'll be okay.
Okay, that's what's up. How many shows have you been to so far? You've been a lot.
Just a handful of them in the Midwest. Like smaller ones, nothing too crazy. I used to have a buddy. His name was Justin Heichel. R.I.P. is an old friend of mine. We used to work at Petco together when I was like a teenager. And he dragged me out. We did some shows in Indiana. We did like Indy. We did like Orlando Fire Show, Oklahoma City. We kind of got, I was younger, had no responsibilities, and that was like his jam. That's what he did, So, I've done some shows, but I'm really not a show warrior. It's just, like, man, I'm a stay at home kind of guy. I do my snakes. I post them on Morph Market, sell them that way, and, a little through Instagram and all of that. But, I'm excited, I'll get the WD-40 out and, get everything, iron out the kinks, get moving again, getting the show vibe. There's a lot of great people going. I think it's going to be a good show. So I'm excited, and I may, if this goes well, I'll probably get into some more of the semi-local shows, the Vegas market, all of that kind of stuff. If I really get into it, maybe I'll go do some bigger stuff. I have aspirations to do the, Tenley would be a great one, Daytona. Here's some good things about the one in Texas too. So it just depends. I mean, I'm still tied down to the 9 to 5, and it's hard to get time away from work and all of that. But I love the industry. I love all the people in it, and it is nice. It takes a lot out of me. I'm sort of a introvert at times, so to really like dig deep and almost put on a show for the people to you got to be, extroverted in a show environment, right? You got to really be like putting it out there and, like vibing with people. And, some days are easier than others. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm pumped up. So anybody going to the show, holler at me, come by, get a sticker, say hello, take a photo, all that fun stuff.
Nice. So do you have like a standard show workflow, like for like you going by like a checklist? You got like standard procedures that you do? Like,
bro, I'm just winging it, man. I don't know. Oh, you're talking about like if I was gonna do like quarantine type stuff?
Yeah, all of it, really.
Yeah. No, I got nothing, man. I told you I haven't done a show in a long time, years. All right. So last time I did a show, it was sort of humbling, right? It was a show in Omaha, and they hosted I don't know, this like Herp symposium thing. I met some really cool people, but like I'm just a dude with a small display full of ball python morphs, and I'm across from Brian Barczyk. The guy has like 7 tables lined up and all of this stuff. And I'm just like, every once in a while, a little slice of humble pie would do you good. But I remember just being like, damn, I'll never get to that level. And it's not that was like my entire reason for not doing shows. I've had, career and other things get in the way, but that was a tough one. I didn't sell an animal. It was hard to get a look, when you got this huge display across from you lined up all the way as far as the eye can see, and you got your one rack of, semi-decent for the time ball python morphs, it lets you know.
It's a different game, different ball game.
Yeah.
So right. The 9 to 5 does make it like challenging to vend far away, and so for that reason, we most likely going to stick to like more local shows, right? Like so, in Gainesville, fortunately, we're like 2 hours away from a lot of different places where they have shows at. Like Orlando, they have shows there. Obviously, Daytona, that'll be a big one. Tampa, they've got shows there, and so like Jacksonville, they got shows there too, and so that's another one that's a little bit less than 2 hours away. But yeah, we definitely gonna stick to the local shows.
6 to 8 hours. That's kind of where I max it out. 6 to 8 hours. You can drive that in a day.
A 6 to 8 hour drive.
Yeah. Anything past that, I'm like, nah, bro. I'm
good.
12 hours. Hard pass.
Yeah, we did 6 to 8 hours. We could really open up our market. We could hit like Atlanta too. If we
there you go. See, that's the thing, man. Apparently, Georgia is the new mecca for ball python breeders. I'm seeing, obviously, we all know Justin and like, Bob is doing some crazy stuff. And I'm seeing a lot of people popping up there that are, stepping in the game. And I'm not mad at it, man. It's that's awesome, So yeah, you should definitely get into that market too.
Yeah, Rashad from 212 Exotics is in Atlanta. He produces some dope stuff, and he also had some joint pairings with joint projects with Keisha from Splash Pack Reptiles. Okay. So they got like a bunch of dope stuff hatching too. So yeah, Atlanta, hot Atlanta is what it's becoming.
Right. Yeah, man. All that sure.
Yeah. So yeah. If we ever went 6 to 8 hours, we could definitely go to Atlanta. But that's in the distant future, I would say, most likely.
Yeah, man. I mean, get a little bit under your belt, do some of the semi-local or, the relatively close stuff. But I mean, you never know. If you got the time, or maybe you go full time on this, that would be a real opportunity for you.
Yeah, if we ever went full time, everything's on the table. Like, no holds barred.
Dangerous. Yeah, I like it.
No holds barred. All right, bro, before I let you get out of here and enjoy the rest of your night, I got a couple of random questions. So the first one is, if you could live anywhere in the world, where would that be and why?
Anywhere in the world. All right. So, I think being reptile people, I just primarily do balls right now, but I like a lot of reptiles. I'm Oriole stuff. That's my jam. I'm not breeding it. It's, that's kind of something I would pick up for more of a passion project. But I think Australia would be awesome. I've never been to Australia, but they got some of the coolest animals there, and most of them on that. But if I had to pick somewhere that I've been before, I don't know, man. I just got back from Hawaii. That was pretty awesome. Never done that before.
Oh, nice.
Costa Rica, that was legit.
They don't allow reptiles in Hawaii, do they?
No, I mean, other than the native whatever, but yeah, they have real strict, environmental laws, I believe.
Gotcha.
So me moving there with my collections out for sure. And then because my girl was trying to talk me into it after we went, and I was like, I don't know about that one. Cost of living's crazy there. But or St. Lucia. I went to St. Lucia one time. That was legit too. If I had to just pick one and nail it down, Probably, Costa Rica, or maybe Australia if I went and dug it. You just never know. Everybody loves Crocodile Dundee, right?
Yeah, for sure, no doubt. All right, if you could have dinner with any 3 people, dead or alive, who would those 3 people be and why?
Okay, dinner with anybody dead or alive. I don't know. Let me just break that into categories, right? So,
okay,
like laughter is important, right? Like I want somebody funny. I want to be able to, and I'm picking probably dead people, right? Because there's way more value in that. You can't have this conversation, I don't know. I don't know. Robin Williams was pretty funny. I wouldn't mind with him. That dude was all right. Or you know what? I would probably George Carlin. George Carlin, man, that dude was cerebral. His commentary on just society in general. He was sharp, man. That was a loss for sure. So yeah, I think that's where I'd have to go with that one.
What would you ask George?
Oh, what would I ask him? I like that. I don't know if I could answer that, man. That's a tough one. That's a stumper for sure. Yeah. I don't know. We'd probably just make fun of people and whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, he would definitely have you rolling, bro. Like,
oh yeah.
He got some legendary stand up.
There's some people, like, all right, today the Queen died, right? Like we're gonna remember this, like, oh, the Queen died. Like, not that I'm a big Queen, whatever, any of that, but like, there's always those people that when you heard the news, you're like, damn, like that sucks, like you're hit hard. And that was one of them for me. I remember being like, oh man, Carlin, we lost one of the good ones,
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So moving on from that, let's see, another good, probably an intelligent person, right? So, Elon Musk or Nikola Tesla or Leonardo da Vinci. Man, Leonardo da Vinci was so ahead of his time. That's like 1,000%. I think where I'd go with it. That's I don't know what I'd talk to him about. I don't speak Old English or whatever, but I think that dude, was a very, polished ahead of his time mind. So
what would you say is the most impressive thing about Da Vinci's life?
Well, so like prior to, like way before the Wright brothers, he was working on flight stuff. Now it wasn't like a full on plane, but like, I think that's pretty impressive. I mean, there's like certain things we know Da Vinci for, and I've always intended to educate myself. I want to grab a book on Da Vinci, just to like learn a little bit more about him, but like, there's like certain things of him, and everybody knows he's a brilliant mind, but they may not know everything about him. And I think, yeah, I don't know. Probably his flight capabilities or whatever. The idea, the concept, right? It was so foreign. Like birds flew, men don't, and now this dude just kind of hacked it, figured it out. So yeah,
I didn't know that about him, to be honest. Like, keeping it 100%. Yeah, I didn't know that about him. So that's pretty cool. Learn something new.
Yeah, there we go.
The more you know, right?
Let me think. All right, so that's who we got. We got 2. I think probably a third would be like something I'm passionate about, right? A third person would be like I've listened to a couple of these, and people brought up Steve Irwin, and like that's another one that Steve Irwin is like, I remember the second I heard about that, and it was like Labor Day. No, it was Labor Day. I don't know however many years ago, 2005, 6 or something like that, and the internet was relatively newish. I remember jumping on my desktop computer, like being like, no, that can't be true. And sure as shit, it was on Yahoo or whatever we're working off those days. And that was a sad one. But realistically, I'd probably pivot from that, and I'd probably choose my father. I think we lose family, and we lose the ability to educate ourselves and ask questions about things. I can't tell you how many times I'm like, oh, I'd like to know, oh, damn, like, my father's passed, so it would be nice to get, a nice meal with him and sit down and talk some shit and drink some of the blackberry brandy shots that he used to buy because they were the cheapest at the time. I would enjoy that very much.
That would be dope. That would be super dope. Yeah. All right, so $10 million deposited into your bank account tomorrow. How are you using it?
Whew, all right. Listen, I'm not going to work tomorrow. I don't give a fuck. All right, that's just not going to happen. Look. I love
No
my
2
boss.
weeks.
I
No
got
2 weeks
pretty good
notice.
job. I don't know, man. Maybe I'd have to. Listen, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Okay? But $10 million, man. You see all the time where people they go broke. They play ball. They get this big contract. They hit the lotto. Everybody, gimme, gimme, gimme. Everybody's got their hands out, right? I'm investing, and
100%.
I'm not just investing in stocks. I'm investing in I probably do some of that too, right? Whatever, speculative stuff. But like I'm investing in people. Like I'm trying to bring my people up. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna help them establish businesses and really like have a little skin in the game. Like I think that would be my goal. Like really put that money to work, get that money making money for me, and just live my best life, man. That's all I want to do anyways, right?
Yeah, get that horizontal income.
That's right, man. Yeah, passive income's where it's at. So yeah, that's what I'd like in my life for sure.
Yes, sir. If you notice, like when I asked that question, like at first I used to say, "How would you spend it?" But I switched it up after like 2 times, and I would say, "How would you use it?" Because I don't want to just hear about it get spent. I want to hear about it being used.
Look, I can buy Lambos and all the bullshit too. Like I could do that, but I think as I've aged, I wish I knew all the stuff that I know now. As like think about just as a youngster when you're 20 and you're like, ball out, man, let's make it happen. And like stupid stuff, right? Like if you would have put that money into a 401k or did something important, man, you'd be so much far ahead of the game. So I think that's important, man. I try and educate. Like I got little nephews and stuff. I try and teach them. But, as they say, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. Kind of same thing. You can teach a teenager something, but it don't mean they're going to listen.
100%. If I would have got $10 million, like when I was in my early 20s, bro, I wouldn't have none of it.
Game over, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Working, now back to working, working for the man, I get it.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I would have been right back, broke as hell.
Yeah. That'd be the worst. It's okay to be. I was born broke. I can live with that. Like that's just my circumstances. But if
I had some good memories though.
Yeah, right. Had some good times for sure.
It's like, woo.
Vegas, baby. Woo.
All right. So, what's one question you wish I would have asked you, and how would you have answered that question?
Something you would. I don't know, man. Maybe asking about a person's hobbies or what they do, or maybe not even that. Maybe asking like advice for new and upcoming breeders. That's something that you talk about, like mentorships and who do people go to? How do you learn things? And I think that having the right person in your corner can put you way ahead of the game. Like you were talking about Reggie kind of schooling you and like be like, yo, you should do this. This is the way the market's going. I think that could be important. And anytime I can like mentor somebody and they truly listen, not one of those like, ask your opinion, then ignore it. That's, you can change their life,
100%. Yeah. That was game changer.
See? Yeah. That's that paradigm shift. You figured it out. You're like, no. All right. We're going to shift. We're going to do this. You can always sell animals. You can always buy more, but you can't buy time. So
yeah, 100%, bro. Definitely. All right. So, tell our listeners where they can find you online.
All right. So currently as a stand. All right. Short, quick story. I lost all my socials a while back. We've all seen it happen before. I got unpublished or whatever BS that the IG FB police decided to do to me. So I've kind of rebuilt it a little bit. I'm just on Instagram right now. So Matt Yates Reptile, look me up, give me a like, give me a follow, shoot me a message. Let's talk. We can definitely work some things out. As for anything else, I mean, that's all I got. I really need to set my game up and do this YouTube thing. So anybody that's, in the YouTube game and want to school me a little bit, help me with editing, put a little game on me, definitely, holler at me. I would like that. I think just having somebody hold my hand, I could probably get into this. And I got some heat to show. I definitely think I got some content, and it would be very nice to jump into that space. It's like I need to take my own advice. Get the reps in and do the damn thing.
Yeah. You got your morph market too.
I got my morph market. Yeah, sure. Thank you. Yeah. So yeah, morphmarket.com, Matt Yates Reptile Co. give me a follow on there. I try and update my IG people when I'm putting some new stuff on. And I got some new stuff. I'm kind of hanging on to it for the Super Show. Again, I'm just restricted to my one little 3 stack, so I can only bring so much. I got some limitations. I was looking at it like I need like 4 more of these, but I'm gonna bring some hot stuff, and I'm gonna definitely just bring some stuff to show off too. I'm not even gonna sell some of it. I just want to kind of let people see. Sometimes in person, like the photos don't do justice to some of the in person.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
100%. Yeah, you should definitely get that YouTube started, bro. And I know just like me, like the pot calling the kettle black, because the only YouTube videos we posting right now primarily be the podcast, but we should have some different content coming up in the very near future. Once we start these egg cuttings, and once animals start calling out the eggs and whatnot, we should have like a lot of content that we can in theory get, and we're gonna try to get much of it as possible out to you. But yeah, definitely get on the YouTube, bro. Like
that's a game plan. That's like, all right, let's just say we're talking about my 1 year, or maybe I just cut it off and it's like by the end of the year, right? I almost want to put a terrible video out just to get that out of the way, right?
Get it out
and just be like, all right, whew, that was painful. I know it'll be cringeworthy. I'll look back at that. You ever look at any of Justin's old videos? That dude, like, man, you look at him back in the day, you look at him now, and he's just like so much more polished and more comfortable in front of the camera. It's tough, if you ain't used to having a light in your face and talking. I mean, the internet, right? Like, oh, everybody's nice on the internet. They won't have nothing bad to say about you. Like that's I've never seen a mean comment on YouTube, right?
Yeah, bro. It's like I probably do myself a disservice because I don't go back and watch like my videos as much as I probably should, and just to like really like learn and say, all right, so you should do this differently, you should do that differently, because it's really weird for me to watch myself, right? It's weird.
The worst. You ever listen to yourself? You ever like listen to your voice? You're like, I sound like that. That is terrible.
That's not my voice. That's not how I sound in my head.
Yeah, right, exactly.
And so like even when I'm like editing videos, it's like you got to get through it because like you constantly listen to yourself. So it's different, but yeah, you just got to learn to push through it and do what you need to do. So
I'm gonna do it.
Can use that as an excuse.
I'll put it together. I'll get it on there, and people can make fun of my cringeworthy videos and my cool snakes. So it'll be coming down the pipeline soon. Again, hey, if anybody's out there wants to school me in the comments, or shoot me a DM or whatever, I would love to talk with anybody that's game.
Cool. All right, bro. Well, we're gonna get out of here for tonight. I apologize to everybody for all the coughing and whatnot. It's been a rough few days being sick and whatnot, but hey, we got the show. We got through it. We had a great time, bro. I appreciate you coming out. I've been looking forward to this all week. I say this every week, but it's because it's true. Like these episodes of this show is like one of the highlights of my week. I really look forward to talking to people. It's a good way to get to know them better and just really build a working rapport with people. So I really appreciate you coming out, bro. Anything else you want to say to anybody for you?
No, man. First off, thanks for having me on, Mike. I see you. I see you shining. I see you doing some good things here, and I see the growth, and I want to continue to see that growth with you. Thanks for having me on. Thanks to everybody in the comments. I've been kind of chatting with Mike. I haven't had an opportunity to really review all this. I'll probably check this out later, and shout out to anybody that I know in here. Thanks for coming and following, and catch me at the Reptile Super Show. I couldn't tell you exactly my booth where I'm at, but look for this. Look for this sticker. Look for Matt Yates Reptile Co. I'm going to be out there. Come holler at me. I'm friendly. I swear I don't bite. So come say what's up, man. Come see some of the awesome snakes I got. And follow me on my socials. And man, let's do this again sometime.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Can you hang around for a couple minutes?
Yeah,
I'm going to play the outro real quick. To everybody in the comments, thank y'all for coming out. Really appreciate the support. It means a lot. So really appreciate y'all coming out. I saw comments popping up. Shout out to my wife, to Car, for doing the comments. It makes it so much more easier with her popping up the comments. Like I can just focus on the conversation and the flow of the conversation. So I really appreciate that. And I really appreciate y'all coming out each and every week. So with that being said, go Gators, beat Kentucky. Thank y'all for coming out. Be blessed. Good night. Peace.
La 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 la